this is day whatever of me hitting the record button and just talking about what I'm working on over the last 24 hours. So if we haven't met, my name is Jason Littrell. I'm a management consultant based in New York City, and I work with bars and restaurants to systematize and optimize their staffing, scheduling, training, onboarding, sales, marketing operations, and I put these all into big systems that make it really easy to implement effective strategies. And then we optimize. So that's a little bit about me. If this is the first video that you've seen for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I have been documenting every day, almost every day, of how I build out systems as results of I lost my job. So I was laid off 3 weeks ago. Today would have been my third paycheck, and so I'm like, do I go out and get a job, or do I go out and create some more value for the marketplace? And so I chose the latter. I have not looked for a single job. I've not prepared my resume. I've not asked around. I've not checked LinkedIn. I've not done any of that stuff because I'm absolutely obsessed with this series of problems that I think I can have a meaningful impact on. And so what the struggle for me right now is that I'm trying to productize an offer because it is very, very comprehensive, what I'm offering. I just don't know how to communicate that very well. And so, as I mentioned before, these are staffing, so recruiting. So this is a 360-degree recruiting pipeline. So it is my belief that just as important as guests are to a restaurant as are staff. And so the staff should be constantly reminded of how valuable they are, and they should always be asked very regularly how they feel that management is doing. And they have to have input, and there has to be action on that input. You can't just have a complaint box, expect people to put stuff in it, and then nothing happens. So that will create frustration, that will create animosity, and eventually it'll create employee churn. And as we've identified, the cost of that problem is between $10,000 and $15,000 per employee. So if you have employees that are quitting, getting fired, showing up late, stuff like that. If you have a culture problem in your bar or restaurant, that means that you have a culture problem in your restaurant, and that means that you are not engaging your staff very well. And so the system that I'm building, that is very close to being to the MVP stage, is about constantly nudging. So nudging the guests for feedback on the staff, guests for feedback on the management, staff for feedback on the management, staff for feedback on the guests, and then systematizing and organizing all these post-shift reports, net promoter score surveys, Q12 surveys, and helping management and ownership understand what's actually going on in the restaurant from a soft touch point of view. And so we're so with all this data that we're collecting, we are putting them into visualizations and reporting so that staff and management and ownership can actually get a real live daily understanding of the sentiment of the staff. And so this presents a lot of technical problems for us, and I just have to figure it out. But it's just I've been obsessed with problems before, and this one is quite different. So I guess the thing that I wanted to share with you today is that in order to productization and sales is going to be one big thing that I just have to figure out. I know it's valuable, but I don't know how to convey that it's valuable in a way that's not going to make people's eyes glaze over, because I tend to get jargony and technical really, really fast. And then the other side of it is having to build a product. So I found a partner, somebody who's going to work with me, and hopefully we'll implement this system into a couple of beta clients to see how they respond, and give me the opportunity to get their feedback and optimize it. In fact, I've actually built in a lot of feedback opportunities within the system so that people can always and easily tell me what sucks, what doesn't, what's easy to use, what's not. But the other part of that is project management. Like, I cannot get all this stuff done by myself. And I'm working with an existing client and making sure that they are getting all the stuff that they need for their onboarding. And it's a complicated system. So I use a program called Nifty.pm. It's Nifty, and it's a project management software. The reason I liked it was because, one, I got an AppSumo deal for a lifetime. So it means that as long as they're in business, I have access to their software. And so it's basically like seed investing if you've ever been to AppSumo. And so I have access to the software for a lifetime, and there's no monthly fee, which I like. The second part of this is that it's very user friendly. It's actually kind of fun to use. I actually really enjoy checking off the tasks and creating tasks and assigning tasks. But the function of it is to organize sprints and long-term project management. So this is how airplanes are flown. This is how surgery is performed. This is how buildings are built. And what we do is I put tasks and subtasks, and then I can assign different tasks and subtasks to different people, and then put deadlines on it, put checklists on it, and put tags on it, and then organize them in terms of priority for a roadmap. And so we know that I can, based on the estimated time that I think that something is going to be completed, or the amount of time that we actually have, I can actually say that in 2 weeks I'm going to have this done. And so I have these Gantt charts that show me relationships and dependencies, saying that once this gets done, then that can get done, then we can get started on that. And so as soon as somebody finishes something, then it immediately it's like a hopper. It just kind of gives them their next task automatically. And so I used to do this when I was opening up bars and restaurants. I've done this when I with building with task management for my agency. And it's just a very civilized and organized way to get things done. And so I'm kind of excited to share this with my mentor because I think that this might change his business, because in effect what it does is it keeps people accountable, like myself included. So there are things that I'm responsible for, and every time I am assigned a task on something, then I get an email notification saying that you've been assigned this task. And then it gives me the deadline, the priority level, and all that stuff. And then it's also mapped out into my larger my larger stack of things that I have to do. And so it leaves very little to chance about what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And also it gives me a weekly recap of saying these are the things that you did, these are the things that you need to get done still. And so it's a little gratifying to get that kind of nudge. Also, there's an open API, and so it integrates directly with my sales and marketing LMS software called High Level. And so down the road, the phase planning, generally speaking, for all this stuff is that you come up with an MVP, just something that you can show a client, and then you start selling it, and you start finding people that want to use it, and then you implement and build for that client. And then you optimize it, you make it better and better, and then you systematize it, and then you automate it. But you have to do those things in that order, because if you try to automate it when it's broken, then you're just going to scale a bad system. So this is kind of Nifty is what I'm using to integrate all the systems, manage all the tasks, and then also, because it's computer software and it's something that I've built, then you can just copy and paste it for the next client. And so that's what makes it scalable. And so we could have multiple onboardings happening concurrently, and we know where each client is. Additionally, when we have coaching and consulting clients, you can, somebody comes up with a problem, you say, okay, cool, what's the roadblock for this problem? And then there's a chat in line for each task, and they can say, you can talk to them about that one particular thing. Send them a video or whatever, but that way the communication is organized, streamlined, and very, very specific to a particular problem, so we can focus on one solution at a time rather than getting overwhelmed with all the other stuff. So that's project management. That's how I organize all this stuff, and that's all I got for you today. See you next time.